It's amazing, isn't it, really, what you can do when you got a little tape.
Swamp Donkey Radio, Swamp Donkey Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, cats and dogs, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. From this point onward, I will be referring to you as listeners. My name is Jan-Hen.
And this is Nadi.
And welcome to the very first episode of Swamp Donkey Radio. For those of you who don't know, because this is the first episode, we are a South African podcast, if you haven't gathered by my accent.
Definitely not by mine.
Yes, because you have this weird fucking... Yes.
We'll go into that at a later stage.
Yes. So this is a South African podcast, generally about media, generally about stuff you experience, generally about...
Stuff you love.
Yes.
Just stuff you freak out.
Stuff that fandoms generate around, you know?
Yeah, the stuff you like that your friends are like a little bit like, really?
Or you can make friends with them.
No, yeah.
The fucking weirdos who watch whatever the fuck we're talking about this week.
Hey, weirdos are cool.
Yes, this is a podcast for weirdos as well, you know? Okay, forewarning, just in case you didn't like pick it up along the way, there will be profanity in this podcast.
Lots of swearing. Well, hopefully not lots, just some.
It's on the thumbnail as well, so it's your fault for clicking on it.
And also lots of spoilers.
Whatever we talk about, once a week, we have two subjects that we chose randomly out of a little hat.
A Mario hat.
A Mario hat. Next week it might be something else, but we're just going to stick with Mario, see how it goes. Let's see how visually it works for this audio-only podcast. So yeah, we pick something randomly out of a hat that we've written down. If you guys want us to talk about something, please write it down in the comments and we'll write it down and put it in the magical Mario hat. The magical Mario hat of mystery. It's hard because hat doesn't start with an M, so it's not magic. Anyway. So, this week, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon, the 3DS game by Game Freak and Nintendo, and Pokemon Company International, and the movie, Suicide Squad. Not the comics, just the movie. So, this show is a review show, kind of. We give our thoughts and opinions on it, but we'll never grade it. We'll never say, this is 10 out of 10, this is 5 out of 10. Whatever, because it's open for interpretation.
Also, we don't have the authority, we don't have enough skills or knowledge to really review things, so we're just gonna go with our feelings,
from the
our
perspective,
guts.
Yeah, from the perspective of fans of media.
Yeah, pretty much everyday man.
Yes.
And woman.
Way to be PC.
Oh, I had to put that in there. I had to.
How has your week been?
It's been peaceful. I mean, nothing interesting.
Any media you've taken in?
Actually, I was pretty busy this week, so no movies, no games, nothing really. No, you?
How exciting!
No, I know it was wonderful. I mean, stuff you dream about.
Now this week I watched quite a few movies. I'm actually gonna put some of these in the suggestion hat. I watched Pete's Dragon, the new movie.
Okay.
Well, not the new version of Pete's Dragon.
Okay.
Just gonna say this, it's not an episode about it. Ugliest children in Hollywood. Ugliest children in Hollywood. I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
I'm sorry, but it's true. And then after the movie, I realized I looked just like the main kid. The hair, the looks, everything. And I'm like, oh god, I'm an ugly child.
Okay, if anyone could see me, you would see me face palming. Like, there's no other reaction to that. It's like...
But yeah, and then the next movie I watched was the BFG.
Okay, how was that?
I mean, surprisingly, it's not about a big fucking gun. No? I was sorely disappointed. No, it's based on a children's book.
It's funny because we had this exact conversation last night where they're like,
"Oh, really?
Oh, BFG, it's not a big fucking gun."
Yeah. But yeah, it's I think it's by Roald Dahl, the book.
Yeah, that's the one.
Movie for kids. Like straight up, it's for kids. You have to suspend your disbelief on it. There's some animated movies or kids, quote unquote kids movies that have adult stuff that adults can really enjoy.
Yeah.
This movie is like, it's straight up for kids.
Not so much. No, I was just gonna say, like, that is, it's for kids, obviously, but it's also for the people like we've been discussing, the nostalgia factor.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, how many adults now grew up with Roald Dahl?
Yeah, Marius, he hasn't seen it yet, but he told me he read the book when he was a kid. So he's like super psyched to see it. Yeah. So I'm going to lend it to him and he's going to like give his opinion on it. And maybe if we do an episode, I'll ask him on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm not against watching the movie. I saw the trailer. It looked very interesting.
Just to put it in, like, in there.
Yeah.
Just dropping it in there.
Yeah.
Some fart jokes.
Oh, God. But that's like a super American thing. That's like...
I don't know who made it. I thought it was a British movie.
What?
I'm not sure, but the CG is really good.
Okay.
CG is really good.
Okay. Then I'm up for it, definitely.
Yeah, what else? I watched Your Name.
Yes. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, in full. Because...
Yeah. Because it deserves.
All I can say is...
Watch it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And also, watch it.
And also... Wow. Yes. So yeah, that was my week, just watching movies. I've been playing the game that we're going to be talking about this week. Yes, so let's go to the first subject.
Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yes. So just to give you guys personal history on our experiences with Pokemon in general, I was a fan from the start. First thing that I ever saw, I can't remember what movie it was, but I saw a trailer for Pokemon, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This looks cool. This looks like anime. Well, at that time I didn't know what the fuck anime was, but it's like, this looks cool.
It's cartoons.
This looks cool.
Little animals.
Yes. And then the first thing before even watching the anime, I bought the 2BA Master CD. And I don't know why. It's just a soundtrack with like lots of random songs in it. And I was like, this is like the first thing I can find of Pokemon and it looks so cool. So I was already like in consumerism, you know, just like I was already played like a puppet.
Yeah, now that you mention a CD, it's funny because, okay, my experience is I sort of watched the cartoon when it first came out.
I love the cartoon, by the way.
Yeah, like the first ones. But I was living in Argentina at the time, so obviously it was all in Spanish. But also being a fan, I don't know if it was me that begged my parents or if they just bought it for me because they knew I was a fan. But I had, because I gave it to a friend, a CD of all the Pokemon songs in Spanish.
Isn't that the 2BI Master soundtrack?
It's possible. Atrápalos ya.
Was it blue with the
Yes!
Pokeball? It's the 2BI Master soundtrack.
Gosh. Okay, so yeah, I had that exact same one, but in Spanish. So I gave it to my friend because she's trying to learn Spanish, and I was like, dude, you have to listen to this.
Oh man, you should show it to me sometime.
Oh, absolutely. She still has it.
Okay. But yeah, okay, so just to finish up, my history with Pokemon has been like, I've been a fan since day one, and I'm still a fan. Like, I played every single game not every single game, every single main series game that came. I've never played like the Pokemon Ranger games and whatever.
You have it though. I mean,
I do have it, but that's just because I'm a collector, and that just like comes with the territory, you know. Just like have games you've never played before. But the only two games that I don't own, but it's because one of them I lent to someone and they never gave it back, was Pokemon White 2, and I still need Pokemon Black and White 2. But the rest of the games, I have all of them. So I played every single one, every single one per generation. So like I played Diamond and Platinum. I never played Pearl.
Okay, but
you're
you're basically up to date with all the Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for rambling.
No, it's fine. I mean.
And then, like, I watched most of the movies. I watched a lot of the anime. I stopped watching the anime after Generation 3. So, Ruby and Sapphire. Started watching the Sun and Moon anime. Pretty great. But yeah, we'll get onto that later. That's my personal history. Like, Pokemon fan through and through.
Okay. Well, mine's, I wouldn't say the exact opposite, but I watched the cartoon when I was in primary school, also in Spanish. That's my reference. Yeah, so that was the first gen. Never actually played the games. I was on a plane once and they had the game on the plane, so I played it for like a few hours. Yeah, never actually owned any of the games. And then recently, I think, what was it? 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I said 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, you lent me your 3DS and you said I could play Pokemon Moon. And I think that was the first time I've actually played like a full Pokemon game. I mean, it was exciting because like I didn't know any of the Pokemon since first gen. And
So practically everything was new.
everything was new. I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who any of these Pokemon are. I mean, obviously they do have some of the first gen ones. But the starters, I was like, oh, what am I going to choose? Go with fire. Always choose fire for some reason. That was it. I have like the card games, the other games. I think once I played like, but this was still first gen. They had a game that was like you photograph the Pokemon.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. I played that like one day when I was visiting a friend. But like I said, never owned any of the games. My parents never bought them for me.
My favorite Nintendo 64 game.
Really?
Pokemon Snap.
I enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed it. But again, didn't own it.
Yes.
Didn't spend a lot of time on it. It was just like, okay, I'm sleeping over at a friend's house, fun activity. So yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with it. Don't have a lot of the information, no background stories, nothing. But I still enjoyed it immensely.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the initial experience. Just like as a whole, like what did you like experience from it? For example, for me, well, this is my opinion on it. It was such a shock to me that if I didn't watch the trailers beforehand, I would have been like, this isn't the Pokemon I know. Just because it changed everything. It upped the ante on everything so much visually. The battles were a lot the same. Were very much the same from X and Y and Ruby, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. But they upped the graphics so much, like the 3D models, the environment, the world, everything was so like fleshed out and like improved upon.
Well, I mean, I went from the first one to
Yes,
this,
yes.
so I mean, I knew I was going to be shocked.
Yes.
But I mean, you've played all of them, and it was still a shock.
But
so.
I might say it was a shock, but it was a good shock.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is great. I can't wait to see like the next one. You know, that's what I kept on thinking is like, the next one's going to be better. I know the next one's, even if it's just like a remake or whatever, because generally they do that. Like they have a main series game, then they remake an older one, and then a main series one, and then they remake an older one. Not too psyched about if they remake, because the next progression would be Diamond and Pearl. I wasn't too like hyped on Diamond and Pearl.
Why? The storyline or just?
No, the story was quite good, and the lore that they put into the game, where like if you go to there's this one library, the Canalave libraries in that game. Well, I'm going on a tangent now, so I'll get back on topic after this. But like, they fleshed out so many things lore-wise that was the most satisfying part for me.
Okay.
But the game just felt so slow, and the game felt kind of, because it was their first foray into 3D. So all the models, all the Pokemon, like in battles, like they were all 2D still. But like the world that the 2D characters walk around in was 3D.
I'd like to see that.
It wasn't as appealing to me.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my least favorite generation. Not saying it's a shit generation, because lots of awesome Pokemon came from that generation. But yeah, my initial experience was just like, they really upped the ante. Story-wise, they also like, it felt, the best way I can describe it is, for a person who would complain about this game would be, this game's very hand-holdy.
I don't understand what that means.
They hold your hand throughout the game.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, that was perfect for me because
Yes.
Getting back into the whole Pokemon universe, like, it was perfect. I was like, yeah, I honestly don't know what to do next. Please tell me. So obviously, I guess it would be better if they had a setting that was like a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
But for me, it was perfect.
See, I don't mind stuff like that just because I prefer games with story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I preferred the story much more than anything else in this game. I love the story. But I know some people have been complaining about, because generally they stop explaining stuff to you as soon as you're able to catch your first Pokemon.
Oh.
As soon as they're like, this is how you catch a Pokemon. And then they just go like, go for it. But in this one, it's like, But that's the thing I really liked about it, is that Kukui was the professor in this game. Really cool professor. I liked him a lot in this game. He was
topless.
Always topless with just the lab coat. Was such a bro.
Why? Just why?
He was there throughout your whole adventure.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, here you guys are. Like, how cool is this? Look at this thing I saw. It's really funky and cool.
Well, I mean, Professor Oak also pops up like a few times.
Not as
no,
in this
not
one,
as
in this
often.
one.
No, I meant
Sun and
I mean
Moon.
Sun and Moon.
Samuel Oak, not
Yeah.
Professor, not the Kanto Professor Oak.
Is it not?
No, it's his cousin,
Oh gosh, they look exactly the same except
Yes.
he has a mullet.
and he's tanned as fuck.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's literally his Alolan form. That's why he kept on, like, in the game he keeps on going Alolan form. La, da, 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 da.
Oh wow.
So he's like, quote unquote, the Alolan Oak.
Okay, that's interesting.
So if you guys haven't seen this yet, Pokemon Sun and Moon tries to bring back the first generation Pokemon, but give them like different forms. Like there'd be a, Rattata and Raticate, like, what they look like. Rattata, little purple mouse, Raticate, bigger, brown mouse.
In this one, they're both gray.
And
black. Rattata.
Rattata and Raticate are both dark type.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more like city rats,
If I have to be honest, I don't like the Alolan forms of most of the Pokemon.
Personally, I love all the Alolan forms. There's actually some Pokemon that I like more. Dugtrio. Oh,
Dugtrio.
Oh, I love them. They're cool.
Oh gosh.
There's so many people who've caught one and called it Hanson.
Oh my gosh. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course, with the wigs. Oh gosh.
But it's not hair.
How is it not hair?
It's steel wire. It's steel something.
Golden steel wire. What?
Yeah, I can't remember, but they explain it in the Pokédex, like why it has all this long hair.
Oh, I remember the Diglett was like, oh, it's little antennae, and they like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be because it's steel in this
Yeah.
one. It's ground and steel in this one, and it's only ground in the regular Diglett. But it's like explained that it has like it has little metal fibers on it, and that's the hair.
So disturbing. Honestly, for me, it was just wrong. I'm sorry. I think we went on a tangent.
Yes, but yeah, I appreciated what they did with the Alolan forms.
Yeah.
Is what I was gonna.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a whole new take, and it makes like, again, the nostalgia. You have that, but it makes it new and interesting all over again. So you're excited about the first gen Pokemon that have been around for so long, but you kind of find boring at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was, for me, that's basically all I remember. So I didn't need them to be interesting just yet, just because I had so many other Pokemon to look at.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't appreciate them so much.
Maybe.
But Vulpix,
I love Vulpix.
Ninetales, no, I didn't like them.
But yeah, just rounding it off, like the handholdy part is, it's okay. I appreciate it because the story's a lot more involved. Everyone that you meet, well, not everyone, but all the characters that you interact with, they feel that they need to be. It feels like they're written in there. They're not shoehorned in there because some rivals in certain games feel they felt like,
you're like, I'm on this awesome adventure, and why are you being such a dick right now?
oh yeah, why are you just like interrupting my adventure? I was just gonna go through this cave, now I have to battle you, ass face.
Exactly.
Even How, as annoying as he is, he was like endearing.
I loved him. He was adorable. Like, I actually like. Is he in the anime?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
Like-
we can talk about the anime.
Okay,
quickly if you want to.
No, I just wanted to know that because I liked his character.
There's some differences between the anime and the game. Lily, she isn't Professor Kukui's assistant. She's a student at the Pokemon school.
Ah.
A lot of the trial captains, who are the gym leaders in Sun and Moon, quote unquote gym leaders, they are students in the school. And then Ash takes the place of the trainer that you're playing with, obviously, just like he did with every other generation practically. And this time he actually enrolls in a school. So a lot of the episodes I've seen, he's just been messing around in school and stuff, which I appreciate because it's very laid back. Lily, she lives in a mansion there.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, her character did come from a
Yes,
wealthy background.
but in this one, it's like they explain that she and her mom have just been separated.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of like it's the Japanese version, so like they can be a little more heavy-handed than in the English versions, but they kind of imply that like the mom divorced and then she was like moved there.
Yeah.
So there was like a separation. So she lives in this mansion and she's like deathly afraid of touching Pokemon. She just like cannot touch Pokemon at all. Like at all. She like freezes up. There's certain trainers who have Pokemon that they don't have them in the game. So like, for example, what's her name? Lana, the water trial captain. She has a Poplio.
Yes.
And that's all she has. She has a Poplio and a Lapras. And that's all she has.
Yeah, in the game
in the game, she has like a Wishy-Washy.
Yeah.
She has a Chinchou.
Yeah, she has a lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah,
but still water themed.
Yeah.
And then Team Rocket. I'm not going to spoil anything because I want you guys, if you guys watch the Sun and Moon anime, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they come in a bit later. But Team Rocket, best characters in the anime. Still.
I'm actually a little bit sad that they're not present in the games. Well,
But
in this one specifically.
But I'll just say, like, Team Rocket have never been present. Like, Jesse and James have never been in the games, except for Blue and Yellow. Except for Yellow, sorry.
But
Except
why
for Yellow.
not? I mean,
Because they were written for the anime.
But they're... I love them, though. Like, they're...
No, I love them too. They're very endearing. But, like, then they've never been in any game except for Pokemon Yellow. In any main series game.
That's very odd.
Which in itself is kind of a spin-offy kind of thing, just because you're playing with Ash and you're not playing with like any other character. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, it'd be cool if they were in. Yeah, all I'm gonna say is Team Rocket's the best. Go
Rocket.
They changed a lot, but like they made it funny. They made it so funny. Okay, so pros and cons. Let's make it one thing each. One pro that you'd go like, this is the best thing about this game.
I don't know. I love that if you haven't, for me specifically, if you haven't played the game or been in the Pokemon universe for quite a while, or at least since you were a child, it's a great place to start again. Just because it's not that hard. It's visually stimulating. It's fun to just like, if you're not up to date with the Pokemon, just discover all of the new ones. And I mean, like, it's so much fun to evolve them. And it's literally like, when they evolve, you're like, yes, finally. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I did not think it was going to look like that. So, I mean, if you just want to have a little nostalgia moment and just feel like a kid again, I loved it. I mean, it doesn't take that long to play. But that's also one of the things I like, because I honestly don't have that much time to spend on games at this point. But still, I mean, loved it.
It's actually I really liked your answer, because my answer is kind of going to be what my pro about the game is actually going to be kind of the opposite about it. If you are a veteran Pokemon player and you're kind of sick and tired of the formula of Pokemon, go out on a journey to fight 8 gym leaders and then the Elite Four and then your champion. Yay. No. Buy this game. Because it changes the format completely. The vibe is a lot different. Like, it's not just... The whole Hawaiian vibe is, like, so welcoming to me. Like, I enjoyed it so much. Just because it's such a different vibe. Like, I'm just gonna say vibe the whole time, but, like, that's what this, like...
But it is.
That's what
like,
it gives me.
How
It's
do you
this
greet
whole
each other?
Alola. And then you do the weird, like, awkward hands, like, doing a half circle thingy. But yeah, and they changed the gym lead. There are no gyms in this game. Like, it's trials, and the trials work a bit differently, and you have to do weird things in the trials and stuff. It's a welcome change.
It's engaging. Like, you're not just like, okay, I'm going through the motions. It's like, there's a story and a reason to why I have to do these things. It's not just so I can be the best. It's kind of like I have a goal and I'm working towards it.
Yes.
Also, and I mean, there's a side story. And
Yes. A really good side story.
Exactly. So I loved it. I love playing games for stories. I'm a lazy gamer. I want a story. That's why I play. And it had a good story. You want to know what happens with these characters. You want to know what happens next.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree with you. But yeah, my thought on it is just it's a new experience for veteran players as well. It's a good experience for new players as well.
Exactly.
So it's a happy medium, kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Cons. One thing that you're like, no, they could have really left this out.
Okay, well, I mean, we not left it out, but it annoyed me a little bit because, and we spoke about this, Lily's character for me was a bit annoying. But it's because I'm an adult and like, she just seems very like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. Oh my gosh, I'm so pathetic. Oh my gosh, there's Pokemon. I'm just like, oh, sack up and do something. You're annoying me. But at the same time, like, throughout the journey, you get to love her a little bit. And then you're like, okay, I get it. And you're trying very hard. But still! Oh my gosh!
And she's supposed to grow. That's why she's so weak.
Yes, that's, you as you explained, like, the point is she's for younger gamers. She is the one. And when you said that, I was like, you know what? That's actually brilliant. Because me as a 20-some-year-old, like, she annoyed me because she's a little teenager. And I'm just like, okay, talk to someone about these things. But the whole point of her story is growth and like learning more about yourself. And once you said that, I was like, you know what? She's actually an invaluable character because, I mean, if your parents aren't going to talk to you about this, then media should at least show you that you can grow and you can become a better person and you can become stronger. And that was the nice thing about, like, it annoyed me at first, but it's a nice thing about her. She always says, like, I want to be like you, and then she actually tries it.
Yes.
Like, she's like, you know what? I don't have strong Pokemon. I'm not a trainer, but I want to be strong. That was her thing.
Yeah.
So, at first that annoyed me, but afterwards it was like, okay, I get it.
Okay. The one con about this, okay, this is going to be a bit more technical.
Of course. Needs to be. Veteran here.
In the previous games, right, they introduced more ways of battling Pokemon. And later on, they introduced more ways of battling more than one Pokemon. So, like, they introduced double battles. Later on in Gen 6, they introduced horde battles, where you could fight, like, 5 at once. In this game, they introduced a type of system that could change, like, a single battle into a double battle against your one Pokemon. And that's SOS battles. The pros of the SOS battles is if you keep on chaining them. So what happens is you fight a Pokemon and you beat it up a bit. Its health goes to half and there's a chance, and you can force it to happen, but there's a chance if you just let it go naturally. There's a chance that it might call a friend or call a friend. So it will usually be the same Pokemon. So like if you fight a Caterpie, another Caterpie will come. Or like in certain cases, you can get rarer Pokemon. So like if a Caterpie calls for help, there might be a chance that a Butterfree pops in. And there's actually certain Pokemon you can only get with that way, with that method. It's annoying when you're playing single player and that keeps on happening. Because even though you can run away from the Pokemon, you're still grinding for experience. And you might be fighting, you might have a weaker Pokemon in the front because you're trying to train it. Do you think this is going to be an easy battle? 2-hit KO, cool, experience. No, it calls for help on the second hit, on the first hit even. It comes in. And then those two, the two Pokemon together, it's just a bit too much. And then the battles take forever. And it takes so long. And it's annoying. For the single player campaign. For the story. Afterwards, post-game, great. I love it. I just personally wish that there was a switch to turn it off.
Well, I mean, just adding on that, I hated that there were Pokemon that you could only catch as, like, SOS.
Yes. Because there's certain Pokemon that, like, I like the concept of it, or just, like, on paper it sounds cool. So, like, if you fight Corsola, right? Yeah. And you beat it until its health is, like, really low, and it calls for help. Sometimes it's natural predator, a new Pokemon. I'm not going to mention it now. No, I'm going to mention it now, because
we have
the
spoiler alert.
Oh, yes. Marini. So Marini is like Corsola's natural predator. So if a Corsola calls for help, its predator hears that it's calling for help and goes like, oh, easy pickings. I'm just going to come here. And then you can catch Marini. That's the only way you can get Marini.
And I think it was the Insidui?
Sableye.
Yeah. Yeah. That one also.
With carbing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
It's annoying.
It's annoying, especially because I'm one of those people that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kill a Pokemon with one hit. I'm going to get strong enough and just like kill them all with one hit. And afterwards you find out, no, actually, you kind of want them to call a friend.
Yeah. No, it's annoying, but like it's cool post game. I'm not saying it's a shit feature.
No.
I'm just saying like they could have worked on it a bit more.
But I mean, like, I guess for me, like I said, I like playing games for the story. And I know there are a lot of people that like it when it's just a little bit more complicated than just sailing through the game. So
true.
There are definitely people that would love that feature that it's just like it
Yeah,
just
and
adds
we're not
another
discounting.
element.
Yeah, we're not discounting. We're
No,
not saying you
absolutely
guys
not.
are like you guys have shit taste.
No, not at all.
No, I mean, if that's the only thing I can complain about this game, then this game's pretty good.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, there's nothing else that we were like, okay, this was terrible. This was really bad.
So, would you recommend someone playing this game? Someone buying this game?
Okay. If you don't have a 3DS, I wouldn't suggest that you go out and buy it just for the specific game, just because I mean, I don't play that much, but I finished it pretty quickly. I think it took me like a week or two. And I mean, that was playing like only at night when I got home. So I wouldn't say go buy it just to play this one game. But I would say if you're really interested and you miss Pokemon and you want to kind of get back into it, then yeah, absolutely, go buy it.
There's also cheaper versions of the 3DS that you can buy.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be if you wanted to go buy it just for this game, get yourself a 2DS.
Yeah.
They have bundles of it. 2DS is a cheaper version. It doesn't have the 3D function, which is okay because this game has almost zero 3D in it. Get yourself a 2DS. It'll run a bit slower on it, honestly, because it's just a bit weaker system, but it's still worth playing. It's still worth getting. So yeah, I'd recommend getting a 2DS if you don't already have a 3DS on you. But if you have a 3DS, this is a must-have. You don't have to buy Sun and Moon, because they're two different versions. But my suggestion would be, if you usually play at night, get yourself Pokemon Moon. If you usually play during the day, get Pokemon Sun, because the time differences change in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
No, absolutely.
Just go get it.
I mean, if you're curious about it and you've been thinking about it, yes, definitely it's worth it. I mean, if you've never thought about it at all, obviously then don't bother. Or borrow it from a friend. See if you actually like it. Like I did with Jan-Hen.
Just remember, you only get one save slot in this game.
Oh yeah, sadly, yeah.
Pokemon's never had more than one save slot. So
Yeah,
Pokemon veterans are like, yeah, no, we know.
We know, yeah. So that was a little bit upsetting, but I mean, luckily I'm not one of those people that are like, oh no, my Pokemon, don't erase them. I'm just like, I'm gonna give the game back and you play it now. I don't mind. But I know there are a lot of people that get very sentimental about
Yes,
their
I'm
Pokemon.
one of those people.
Exactly.
I'm sentimental about your Pokemon, so I'm going to move them to Pokemon Bank and then start over.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I have some really cool Pokemon, but I mean, it's just data, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm data in my friends. Okay, but yeah.
But that's what we have to say about Pokemon Moon and Sun.
Yeah, this
Sun
game
and
was
Moon.
actually slated. This is my final thought on it. This game was actually, like, in my head, it was going to be my favorite game of the year. But it's not. But I'm not disappointed in this game at all.
But by year, you mean 2016?
2016.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I forgot we're in 2017 already.
Yeah, already. Oof.
Anyway. The next subject. Actually, no. We're going to take a bit of a break.
Yeah, please.
And then we'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Swamp Donkey Radio. I'm still Jan-Hen.
And I'm still naughty.
The next subject is going to be one that we might argue about.
Oh dear.
It's a movie called Suicide Squad. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to say this is about the movie. This has nothing to do with the comics because neither me or Nadi have read the comics. So we're basing it on the fact that it's a movie. But there is a bit of a subject that we can talk about with the source material versus adaptation.
Yeah, just with the knowledge, the things that we know, the things that people have told me. Because I mean,
Yes.
I have friends. I'm sure you have friends, people that do know the source material. A lot of the people that know the source material, they were just like, no, I'm not even gonna try and watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. I'm like, you haven't even watched it. How would you know?
Yeah, like I'm already used to. I mean, if I can sound dramatic, and this isn't what I really feel, but like I kind of just have that mindset of like whatever movie comes out that's based on a book or a comic or a manga or whatever. It's like
it's always disappointing.
it's always going to be quote unquote butchered.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
always going to be changed or like made. And the reasons they do it is mainly for pacing.
Not just
story.
that. I mean, it's two completely different mediums.
Yeah.
It's you know, books, they're completely different from movies. Again, the pacing, what's important for the plot, what needs to be known, what doesn't.
To explain stuff.
And there's side stories that are very important in books and comics and whatever, but that just don't fit into the movies, and they don't. Yeah, it's not what people want to see. The thing is, a lot of the books and comics we read, you get really into the universe. You want to know more about it. You research. You know, you put in that time and effort. But mostly on movies, people that just want to watch the movie, normally they don't care that much, especially if it's their first time watching it.
Yeah.
They just want to be entertained for those 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's what's important to them. So I get it. There will be changes. And if you watch a movie that's based on anything, you know you're going to be a little bit disappointed if you know the source material.
Exactly. You have to walk in knowing that this is on its own. This is something on its own.
Yeah.
So Suicide Squad, just if people don't know, Suicide Squad is a movie that's in the DC cinematic universe, alongside Batman v Superman and Man of Steel and the up and coming Justice League movie and the Wonder Woman movie. Suicide Squad was directed by David Ayer, and it stars Will Smith, Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, and lots of other people. But those are the main people that like sell the movie.
Yeah.
Go like, hey, Will Smith is in this movie.
I recognize that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy from that other movie.
So Will Smith stars Deadshot, which is he's one of the focal characters in the movie. His superpower is basically it's a very mundane superpower or subtle superpower.
But it's pretty badass
It's pretty
if you
cool.
have it.
He's never missed a shot, basically.
You shoot
He has
and you
perfect
don't
aim.
miss.
Yeah, he has
I mean,
perfect aim.
For his character, that's he's what? An assassin?
Yeah. He's
That's
like
his job.
he's a mercenary.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's your job, that's kind of an important superpower.
Yeah. And Jared Leto stars the Joker.
Oh man.
Yeah, very different take on the Joker. Just like, I mean, it's the same different as Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like it's completely veered off the comic version,
Yeah,
the
it puts a
cartoon
different
version.
spin on it. It brings out different characteristics. It
Yes.
focuses on different characteristics.
Yes, and he's more like a side character, but he's an important side character.
Yeah.
You don't focus a lot of him in the movie, but he's there in certain spots.
And he's there for a reason.
Yes.
They don't in the movie they don't go so much into it. It's more of a comic book thing. As far as I know.
Yeah, and then Margot Robbie stars as Harley Quinn, which is the other focal character of the movie.
Gorgeous woman, absolutely stunning, and I loved her as
Yeah,
Harley.
they did cast her right. They did
absolutely.
cast her like she is the best cast character in the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, the damn girl, that smile.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just the gist of the movie.
Yeah.
So the plot is more or less bad guys who are incarcerated are like they
Forced to be the heroes.
yeah, they're forced to form a team and to fight other fight other evil forces. And yeah, I'm not going to give too much of that away, just based on that's basically the plot.
Like we said, we'll have spoilers, and that's only just to
Explain certain things.
our opinions. We're not trying to give the entire movie away. We just want to get people excited about it.
Yeah. So your voice did a bit of a dip when I mentioned Joker. So let's talk about Joker and Harley, their relationship in this movie.
Their relationship. Okay, like I said, I don't know a lot about the comics. I remember watching like an episode or two when it was cartoons.
Of the original Batman.
Exactly.
It's actually where Harley Quinn got her start. She didn't come from the comics. She was created for that show. She was created as a partner for Joker.
Okay, I did not know that. Awesome. Okay, so my point is, I know there were a lot of people going hashtag relationship goals after the movie came out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know much, but I know that's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you do not want to be basing your relationship on Harley and Joker.
See, their relationship in this movie is a lot more cutesy than it is. Well,
it's romantic. Like
Yes.
they kind of make it seem like they're like these clandestine lovers that are like Romeo and Juliet or something.
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
That kind of vibe.
And throughout the comics, throughout the series, throughout any other iteration that I know of Harley and Joker, it's supposed to be a really good example of an extremely abusive relationship.
Exactly. It's everything that is wrong in a relationship.
Exactly.
I mean, they have that scene where he shoves her into the big vat of, I don't know what, like something poisonous.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Like bleach, or I don't know.
Like, personally, I know people are gonna go like, actually, it was because of this.
Well,
Like-
the thing is, I know people that know the source material, and my one friend just turned to me and she's like, "Oh, because he kind of shoves her, but they fall in it together, so it's kind of like this romantic. Oh, I'm gonna force you to do
But
stuff."
why?
The thing is, the source material, he actually tries to kill her. Like, it wasn't like a romantic, trustful kind of thing. It was literally he was trying to kill her.
But what was the vat?
Apparently it's the bleach stuff that he falls into
okay.
originally that makes his skin really pale and his hair green.
But she wasn't even that pale afterwards.
Supposedly, she is meant to be. Like,
Yeah.
super
No, she
pale.
is pale, but
Yeah.
like...
Okay, but it was the same thing. And, they kind of made this, like, super romantic, trustful kind of moment.
Yeah.
Where, in fact, it's like, no, the asshole tried to kill her for, like, the millionth time in their relationship.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Really? Their relationship is not healthy. That is my point.
Yeah.
It's not a loving relationship. It's more obsessive.
So the portrayals on the characters.
Yeah, but I think that was like a Hollywood thing. They were like, "Oh, we need a bit of romance, so we'll have them be the romantic couple, sort of."
Yeah, like personally, like how the characters were portrayed, I feel just like Harley was greatly cast, she was greatly portrayed in this movie as well. And fortunately or unfortunately, my opinion is this is the best version of Harley Quinn you can get in a movie.
Absolutely, because she brought a factor of reality to it. The fact that Harley is a real person. She does have real feelings. I mean, of course she has this little bit of a crazy side, but she's still a woman. She still wants to be loved. She's still a human being. And she does portray that very well.
My only two complaints about it would be that at one stage at certain stages it's a bit like hammy, like her performance is a bit hammy. So like her performance is a bit too like, okay, we did this for the trailer, you know, that kind of thing. Or not even just for the trailer, it's just like you were laying it on a bit thick there, you know.
But I mean, you can get that in real life as well. You get a woman or a person, a man, anything, a child, they're a bit hurt, they don't know what to do with their situation, and you act. You're not being your true self at that moment. You act out. You portray the person you think people want to see.
No, I get what you mean. And Joker, I'll be the first one to say I'm disappointed in how Joker was in this movie as a whole. Because when they announced what he was going to look like, that picture that everyone was like, this is the new Joker.
Tattoos
Fuck,
and the
dude.
teeth and yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. If he does it well, then I'm not going to be angry. Because, I mean, I was disappointed when I saw Heath Ledger's Joker. I'll be honest. He just looked like a bum to me.
Yeah.
But this one, I gave it a shot because I'm open-minded about stuff like this. Like, if they, like, drastically change characters in a movie, or for, like, something else, I'll be like, okay, well, it's not exactly how I remember that character, but let's give it a shot and see how it goes. So disappointed in him. So disappointed in Joker. What he looks like. The tattoos are never, like, I know it's just supposed to, like, like, build him up as a character, kind of, but it did nothing for him. It just made him as a character look busy. But to me, Joker's supposed to look very streamlined and very, like, angular, kind of. It's a weird thing to explain.
No,
it, but
I understand. Like, that was his aesthetic in the cartoons.
Yes, and that's probably why
yeah.
I have a problem with that.
For me personally, I felt like I didn't like him very much, but that was, and I thought about this later because I realized he didn't have a lot of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
So the parts of him you saw, it was minimal. I think if he actually had a lot more screen time, he could have built on the little bits we saw and it would have made sense as a character.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem because he wasn't there most of the time.
So you couldn't get used to him.
Not just that, you couldn't see him as a whole character. You just saw the little bits. It was like...
He was a little bitch in this movie, I'll be honest. Like, for lots of parts.
I loved it because he properly brought out the crazy side of Joker. It's like, dude, the dude's just lying there in a room surrounded by guns and knives and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is the crazy element of Joker. He's not just a bad guy. There is an insanity there that is the basis of his character.
I get what you mean, but like, in my opinion, that was like where one of the parts where he was being a little bitch. Where it's just like, oh, my girlfriend's gone. I'm crazy, but my girlfriend's gone.
Well, we all have those moments, I think. Maybe I'm just weird.
Yeah, but it's the Joker. He's not supposed to have moments like that. He's supposed to go like, oh yeah, Harley's gone, while he was partying, while he was sniffing cocaine.
But I mean, you could say that's exactly the same thing. Like, oh, my girlfriend's gone, but I'm just gonna, be my insane self and just like chill with a bunch of knives and guns.
Yeah,
this is what makes me happy.
Yeah. Some of the other portrayals, I can't say anything about the characters like Captain Boomerang. Like, I have zero recollection of him. He was the Australian guy.
He was funny. I remember him, like, the little unicorn. Like,
that was a bit like, is he supposed to be a brony or something? Or does he have a fetish about it? Or I don't know.
I have no idea. He just really cares about I don't know.
That was very silly to me.
Yeah. I mean, it adds a little elements of something different.
Yeah. A character that I liked up until his shining moment in the movie. Like where his character arc completes. Diablo, the fire guy.
Oh, yeah. He was actually super interesting. I really liked him.
I liked him up until the part at the end where he became the demon.
Why?
Because, number one, he walked out with a gangster pose, a demon with a gangster, like, lean.
But,
number one. Number two,
okay.
He didn't even, like, completely defeat the other guy. Like, he sacrificed himself for that moment. So, in other words, he was such an interesting character, and then he died.
Okay, I do think it's crap that they just, like, took him out that way. Like,
yeah.
He could have definitely been in the next movie or something.
Yeah. He could have been a villain in the next movie.
But at the same time, crap like that happens in real life.
That's true. But this isn't real life.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to bring in that element of, like, you know what? It's not a fairy tale. It's not gonna have a happy ending. It's just that's not how it works.
I think it just sucks that, like, because I'll be honest, like, I didn't care about, like, his feelings at all, really. I cared about him as a character because he was an interesting character and he has a sad backstory. But like, his wife should have known that she was marrying into, like, maybe death when she realized he had, like, a shitload of tattoos on him.
Oh, dude,
like,
no.
Like, he had a skull on his face.
Dude, love is love. You could know who a person is and still love them and like still be really
Hey,
devastated.
I love
goes
tattoos.
wrong.
You know, like
No, it's not about the tattoos. It's just like, okay, like if you're
But she
gonna
wants
marry
it-
into a gang like member.
no, but she kept on saying, "Don't do these gang things. Don't do these gang things." I was like, "Yo, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Get an office job?"
But I mean, you get that in life where you're just like, okay, you marry this guy and you know he's sort of into drugs, and then you're just like, okay, but please stop doing the drugs. I love you. I want to be with you. Just don't do this. And obviously, it's a hard thing to kick. So,
I think we're moving on to like a tangent.
and not just a tangent, like a deep hole of depression.
Okay, we're not gonna continue that
Nope.
part.
Nope.
Okay, so Deadshot.
Yeah.
The only complaint that I have, because this wasn't like, okay, I have two complaints. One is a really small one, but I understand why they do this. They do this in Captain America. They do this in a lot of superhero movies.
Okay.
They did this a lot in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Bring it.
It's kind of like a syndrome or like just something that they just force into a movie. It's like, take off the mask. They don't like you with the mask. It's like, no, people like you with the mask because that's who you are as a character.
That is the character. The character has a mask.
Deadshot did not wear his mask for 80% of this movie.
Okay.
Because it was Will Smith. Because
Yeah.
they had to sell the face of
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Which
But
was
I
annoying to me.
feel like that's something that they've been doing a lot lately with, even with the Marvel movies.
Yes, no, I agree.
Their
They did that in Captain
costumes-
America. They did that in the only I have to say though, Captain America: Civil War, they have the masks on a lot.
Still haven't seen it. Next time. Okay.
It's so good. But a character that had a good mixture
Yeah.
was Iron Man. There was parts with his suit and everything in his movies. Parts with his suit and everything, and then there were Iron Man parts in the movie, and then there were Tony Stark parts in the movie.
But I think it's because enough people recognize the character Iron Man that sells it itself. Like, you don't need Robert Downey Jr. to sell the movie because people know who Iron Man is.
No, but I think as a character as well, there is two, like in Iron Man, in the comics even, there's two characters. There's Iron Man, and then there's Tony Stark. They're the same person, but there's parts where it's Iron Man, and then there's parts with Tony Stark and his bullshit.
Yeah, I get it.
Another movie that did it well was Deadpool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a tiny complaint. So I'm not gonna say this movie sucks because like Will Smith's face is like in my freaking face the whole time. No. The other complaint is he didn't feel like a character to me. He felt like Will Smith. He felt like, yeah, no, I just, fought some aliens and then I wore a black suit and shot a thing and went like, I mean,
And
this
then my
looked
dog
good.
died.
And then my dog died and then my son, me and my son were hobos and like,
Okay.
Like,
and
it's Will
then,
Smith.
And then.
so this is a story all about how my life got twisted upside down by shooting and assassinating and,
I get it.
it's Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's undeniably Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's my complaint about him. It's like, he was a badass in the movie. He had some lines, like very Will Smithy lines.
But he
like,
wasn't a character.
he didn't feel like a Deadshot character to me. That's why I felt if he wore the mask and
Then he would be Deadshot.
then he'd like, maybe he'd do something else with his body because a lot of like actors like try and overact when they have their
absolutely.
bodysuits
When they have
on.
the mask on,
Yeah,
it's it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, because you have to rely on a lot more.
Yeah. You don't have facial expressions to express yourself. You have to rely on body language.
Yes.
You express a lot more with your body.
Okay, last character that I'm gonna harp on.
Oh, but I think this one I didn't like either.
It's my least favorite character in this movie.
Let's go for it.
Killer Croc.
What?
Yes. You can discuss someone afterward, but my least favorite character in the movie is Killer Croc.
I actually liked him. He wasn't there most of the time, but the time he was kind of like, oh.
Oh, that actually reminds me. The version I watched was the director's cut from the Blu-ray, from the special edition Blu-ray.
Right, with his backstory.
It had a bit of a backstory, but like not a lot. Like really, not even minutes. Just seconds of like.
Wow. Okay.
But I felt his head was like. I appreciate the fact that they tried to do it was practical makeup. It wasn't CGI. I would have been okay with it if they made him CGI. Because Groot is CGI and he's a lovable character
Everyone
in Guardians
loves
of the
Groot, yeah.
Galaxy. This guy felt to me like he was in a reality show. What was that reality show called? Face Off. It's have you seen Faisal?
No.
So it's like it's a reality show for makeup artists, right?
Okay.
I'm just gonna give a bit of a like.
Okay.
It's a reality show for makeup artists, which is a lot like American Idol, whatever. There's like people, and then they compete for like a goal, and then they do makeup they do like prosthetic makeup and stuff like movie makeup every
Actually, I
week.
want to see that now.
I had a few seasons, but yeah, it felt amateurish to me, to be honest. His head was too big for his body, and it looked fake. But not only the prosthetic makeup, because maybe the prosthetic makeup was really good, but it was overshadowed by his horrendous acting. I hated his acting
Oh my gosh.
so much.
You cannot do much when you're like a big lizard.
But then keep him out of the movie. If you're not gonna do much, then stay out of the movie. Because one of the other characters they could have taken one character, removed him, and given that to Killer Croc. Just lines or whatever, conversation pieces. Because sure, he does one-liners. He does that thing like, "Oh, I'm beautiful," that kind of thing, you know. And it's like, ha ha ha, and then it's done. Then you forget about Croc, and there's only one part where he's relevant. There's like, oh, there just happens to be stuff underwater. I know who to call. And then Croc comes, and then he goes, and then he's busy fighting someone, and then he just comes up again like, I'm here.
Okay, but again, that could be a setup for the next movie.
I hope so, because he was such a bland character. He was such a forgettable character.
Yeah.
But also, the way he acted was very silly to me. It didn't feel like he was a monster. That's the problem. He didn't feel like a monster to me. He felt like a guy with a monster mask.
Oh, okay.
His walk and everything was very overacted. There was one part where you probably know the part where Harley was fighting in the lift, in the elevator with like the minion-y stuff, and then the doors open and everyone was like going in like, oh, we're gonna help her, and then she did it herself, and his walk up till there was like, it made me cringe. Like honestly, it made me cringe.
Oh gosh.
That's okay. Rant over.
Okay. Hopefully the next movie he has a little bit more screen time.
If there is, because I mean, this movie was a critical failure.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, my least favorite character.
Yes, and it's also a bad character in my opinion. Like, I agree with you.
Yeah, because you mentioned you know why. Anyway, Enchantress. There was something always, like the Doctor was fine, her parts were fine, but
So Enchantress is a character, like, just for backstory.
Yeah.
She's a scientist or an archaeologist who found this little idol statue thing, and it contained like a demon in it.
Okay, first off, like while I was watching the movie, I was like, "You're an archaeologist. Why the fuck
Would you
break
this like rare artifact?
Not even open.
Yeah.
She broke the head off this artifact. It's like, what were you thinking, woman? Like, no. I think every archaeologist or anyone that studied archaeology was just like,
What the fuck?
what? At that moment, they were all just like, no, just never. Just, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that over.
That the spirit, the demon, or whatever that's inside that
The
little
witch
thing.
spirit that was in the artifact.
Yes, possessed
inhabits-
her.
Yeah.
And then she becomes the enchantress. So it's like kind of like a split Jekyll and Hyde kind of
Yeah, that
situation
kind
where
of thing.
like the one comes out and the enchantress side is evil and the doctor side is good.
Yeah.
And she's one of the first villains to be recruited into the Suicide Squad, but she's never part of the Suicide Squad, because the reason why the Suicide Squad is brought together to fight an evil is when she turns evil.
Yeah.
When she like rebels
Yeah.
against like this organization that's trying to form the Suicide Squad.
They hired the Doctor to be part of the team, not actually Enchantress, because she's her own individual. She does her own thing. She does whatever the fuck she wants. So yeah, but okay. So the whole CGI thing, I thought it was pretty, very pretty. Loved the fact that she's like permanently burning and she's like almost like a cold,
how she was
living
in the
cold.
first half of the movie.
Yeah. But then she becomes the super badass, evil supervillain. And I don't know, something about it bugged me the entire time. I can't say it was the acting, because the acting wasn't bad. There was just something a little bit off about it the whole time that bugged me.
So, if I could give my opinion on why she was a bad character in general. The first part of the movie, Like, I'd say the first half of the movie. And the promotional material. The trailers, the posters, they all portrayed Enchantress as being part of the team, number one, because she was lined up with them. And she was always portrayed in that dark, like, she kind of looked burnt or muddy or like, you know, ancient kind of, or she looked like a witch. Yeah. She looked like an evil witch. And that looked appealing to people. That was like, that's what a cool character design. And then when she like stepped up to become the supervillain, still the Enchantress, then she became clean. And then she became like very, like, she looked like a lady that had like that had cool props on her. Just like Egyptian kind of ish, Mayan-ish kind of props on her. The thing that bothered me a lot about her was you could tell that someone voiced her afterwards.
Right?
Because I can't remember what her name is.
The lips just do not match up with the words coming. And it's so badly done.
And the voice doesn't match either.
But that's why I was like, how?
And it's supposed to be this beautiful woman. And for the life of me, I can't remember what her name is. But it's supposed to be this beautiful woman. And she's supposed to have this deep, very powerful voice. But I think it's either the lip syncing or the fact that she was moving a lot. She was swaying a lot. She was doing like very like motion.
These are professional people. They do movies for their jobs. Like how many people did that go through that they were just like, nah, it's fine. Just leave it. Yeah. It's fine.
And I don't know. Maybe it's actually the actress's voice. She voiced it or something. But
oh geez, Cara Delevingne. I can't say that.
I think she's a model, isn't she?
She is. She's a gorgeous woman. Delevingne?
Cara Delevingne.
Delevingne.
Okay?
Okay.
That's all the iterations I could get.
Sorry.
But yeah, she looked very boring at the end, number one. Number two, like her design, her character.
I thought it was
not
pretty,
like her.
Like I don't know.
But
if
did she look
a badass character that's like glowy and blue, then I'm like, I'm there.
Okay. But who looked more badass? The witch version or that version?
Oh, definitely the witch.
Exactly. If she looked more like that at the end, it would have been a bit more believable. Also, her voice. The voice didn't match the body. Like, it looked lip-synced. And she was a very weak character because she kept on doing that thing where it's like, I can show you your desires. And
a very witchy thing to
True.
do.
But like, that's the only like other power that she showed throughout the movie because the rest of us was like, I'm smoke.
Oh yeah.
You know?
That's true.
She didn't do a lot. She did a lot in the movie, but like, she didn't like show anything. She can French people and make them disgusting minions. And she can turn to smoke. And then she can go and seize people's desires, you know?
Okay, but I think the main problem with the movie was there were too many characters and not enough time.
Yeah.
Because I think for everyone that was the main issue. Like, you want to love these characters. You want to feel sorry for them. You want to root for them. But because it's so many of them in one movie, you don't get to know any of them really well.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's like, they don't mean anything to you.
That's true.
Not completely.
That's very true. Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise, like, it was, I loved it. I went in thinking that it was going to be the crappiest movie that I've ever seen. The reviews were terrible. The trailer was so-so. And I mean, I love my action hero movies. But I was not excited to go watch it. I really wasn't. I was the only one in my friends group that was like, I am just here because y'all invited me. I actually don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But in the end, I loved it. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the movie. I had a good time. It might be because I was a little bit buzzed on wine.
But you enjoyed.
But I had a really good time.
So, you mentioned the reviews. Like, I didn't enjoy this movie a lot. Like, I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. I know they're flawed, but like I'll just enjoy it for what it is. I'll complain about it in my head, or if someone wants to talk to me about it, like we're doing now. I still enjoyed the movie. Do I want to buy it on Blu-ray? No.
I do.
But yeah, the reviews were very harsh against this movie.
They were very harsh.
Like, it felt unnecessary to me.
I don't know if like only people that knew the comics wrote the reviews or what it was, but people did not like. It was beautifully filmed. The colors, the music.
The music was great.
The music was great.
Really
but
great.
I mean, like
it felt like most of their budget went into the music.
I mean, I loved everything about it. Visually, it was super stimulating because, like, I mean, the CGI was not bad.
No,
Like,
no,
it was
no,
really
it was
good.
great.
And it was colorful. It was like I loved it.
No, and I enjoyed the CGI and the visuals for the most part. It felt very like the parts where they introduced the characters and have these punk kind of things in it. It was kind of endearing.
I loved that.
It was cool, but it wasn't like, I don't know.
I would love to be in one of those punk sequences. Like, it
Yeah, yeah.
introduce me and it's just like badass pose, you know? That's my dream.
But yeah, okay, so we're reaching the end of this segment. Would you recommend it? Would you recommend someone to watch it or to buy the Blu-ray? Or would you recommend someone watch it?
I would definitely recommend people, if they like action hero movies, then definitely watch it. I mean, don't go in thinking that it's the best movie ever, because you're probably going to be disappointed. A lot of people are. There are a lot of people that I know that were just like, you know what, I know all the source material, so I'm never going to watch it. And I was like,
That's disappointing.
don't be like that. Like, just...
That's very disappointing.
Just go in and say it's a movie, it's a spoof, or it's a, I don't know, alternate universe.
Watch it as a movie on its own.
Exactly. It's its own thing, and just try and appreciate it for what it is. Because I really loved it, and I had an argument with someone that was just like, no, they're never going to watch it. And I just looked at their girlfriend. I was like, just go watch it, because you might appreciate it. And she was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that.
There are strong female characters in this movie.
Exactly. I liked it. I liked that part about it. I feel like that is a thing that's making a stronger presence in Hollywood at the moment. But anyway, not about that. I appreciated it for what it was. It was a good action movie with good music, and like it's fun for a night if you just want to watch something and kind of giggle a little bit along the way.
Yeah, turn your brain off.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Exactly. You don't want to think too much. It's just like explosions and pretty colors. And girls being badass.
Alright. So, would I recommend it? No.
Would you? Oh, gosh. You asshole.
I'm sorry. Like, if your friends have it, let me put it this way. Watch it. I'd recommend watching it.
Oh, please. You're probably going to be like...
I would not recommend buying it.
You're one of those people that are like, no, watch it if you're like drunk or something.
No.
Or if you're super bored.
Watch any movie if you're drunk or super bored. What the fuck? You can watch Star Wars if you're drunk or super bored. You can watch anything if you're drunk or super bored. No, it's like fucking watch anything. Watch the best movie ever while you're drunk or super bored, because it's a different perspective.
Oh, that's true.
You know, but I'd say I wouldn't, like, personally, I wouldn't even buy it. Like, you know what? I walked into Suicide Squad thinking, so this is going to be like DC's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a ragtag team, half the people, or like 80% of the people you've never heard of, you know, that kind of thing. You walk in, not knowing anything, you walk out going, I know characters now, you know, that kind of thing. It felt like a knockoff to me. And I know it wasn't a knockoff, but it felt like if I had to compare them, Guardians is the superior one.
Okay, but I mean, like, if you think about it, it's actually two completely different things.
Yes, I agree.
No, but only because... I don't know, if you're one of those people and you're going in and you're like, no, I want to love these characters. You can't. They're villains. You're not supposed to love them. You're not supposed to come out thinking, I'm rooting for them. You're supposed to come out thinking, okay, I am seriously contemplating whether or not to like these people because they have backstories, yes.
I agree with you. I agree that that's where they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
I didn't like these characters.
At all?
Hardly, but it's just because... She was good. She was portrayed close enough to the comics and to the TV show.
Deadshot had a daughter. How are you not rooting for him?
Because he was Will Smith.
Oh gosh.
I'm rooting for Will Smith because
Yeah.
like do well in movies because I like you in movies, but unfortunately you're Will Smith in like 90% of the movies you play.
Okay, I get it.
You know?
I get it.
Yeah. So see, differing opinions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the movie's shit. I'm just
It's
saying
fine.
I wouldn't buy it.
It's fine. I'm definitely gonna buy it. You can borrow my copy.
Yes. That's
That's
see,
it.
and then we could just watch it together and
Yeah.
then like complain and not complain
you can
about
complain, yeah.
it. No, I'm not going to complain. It's a fine movie. It's fine, really. It doesn't deserve these bad reviews. Honestly, it's a fine movie.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think-
better than Batman v Superman.
Also not seen that. Also don't plan. Okay, no, I can't say.
Hey, it's in there.
Is it in the hat?
It's in the
oh
hat,
no!
yes.
Oh gosh.
Hell. All right. Well, that's the end of our reviews for this week. The themes for next week.
Okay, wait. I would like to apologize to anyone that's listening.
Why?
Sorry if it made your ears bleed.
Oh, for screaming.
I didn't scream.
Yes, you did.
Did I? Okay, then I'm really sorry. Okay, anyway, themes for next week.
Okay, I'm going to draw one, and then Nadia's going to draw one. Okay. Looking away, and drawing this one.
This is taking way too long.
Next week's first subject is Ghostbusters 2016.
You did that on purpose.
No.
I swear you did.
No, I just pulled it out.
Are you? Oh, gosh. Okay. Sorry, I'm just upset because I still haven't watched that, and apparently...
No, don't say anything else.
It's very controversial.
We have to give our...
Okay, while I'm talking, I'm pulling out mine.
Next week's second theme is...
Oh my gosh! Babysitting Mama.
Babysitting Mama, the game for Wii.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, this is a game that Jan-Hen bought as a joke because it was.
No,
like,
I didn't buy
what?
it as a joke. I bought it as a steal.
Okay, but it was like what, 50 rand?
50. It was about. I'd say it was less than $5.
Oh my gosh, like $5.
Yes.
It has a toy. It has a toy, soft toy doll
That you
thing.
stick your Wiimote in and then like.
Baby, it's a. Oh my gosh. Why
We might have to like do a video on it or something.
Why
but like,
did I put this down? Oh gosh, this is. Oh. Anyway, okay, those are the themes for next week. If you guys have any suggestions, please comment and tell us. It can't be worse than this.
All right. So those are the two themes for next week. Weird show next week. So yeah, this is the end of the podcast. If you'd like to see more, make sure to visit youtube.com/swampdonkeycartoons. We know this isn't a cartoon, but we're just branching out on stuff. That's why the channel's called Swamp Donkey Media now. But expect some cartoons this year. Me and Marius are working quite hard, and we're actually talking with a few other people about like collaborating. And you can also catch us on facebook.com/swampdonkeymedia. And then on Twitter, you can find us at @SwampDonkeyZA. That's @SwampDonkeyZA. And I want to recommend someone. Every week, we're going to recommend someone who's probably a lot more famous than we are.
Probably, definitely.
But yeah, this week I'd like to recommend the YouTube channel, The National Dex. They're a Pokemon podcast because we talked about Pokemon today. YouTube.com/The National Dex. They're usually known as The Dex. They have a weekly, mostly weekly podcast, that's just called The Dexcast. Alex Faciani and Kelly Whistler. Great people. I'm very inspired by Alex. He's one of my heroes. What a cool guy. What a chill guy. Best, like everyone gives him shit because he recently changed his facial hair. Fucking love the dude. He looks like a cop now, but he's so cool. He's such a cool dude. Yeah. And then to officially end this episode, Nadia would like to give you guys a challenge.
Yeah, because I am a very nosy person and I like being in people's social lives. I would like to challenge everyone listening to this, which is like 2 people.
Yay!
Yay! To say hi to a person that you've wanted to talk to for a long time but never had the guts to. Just say hi, wave, smile, do something. That's it.
And we'll hopefully see you guys next week.
Hopefully.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.